Hi, Sherri and Jim. Thank you for joining me tonight. I'm looking forward to this.
Thank you for having us.
Yep.
Glad to get Jim on here with us tonight.
I'm kind of
Yes.
nervous.
He's nervous,
I
but
don't.
Oh,
everybody's showing some love.
you, you don't have to be nervous with me. Good Lord. I'll tell you.
He's watched enough by now. He should know we just all get on here and chat.
hmm It's just talking like any other time. That's it. We'll go through the chat real quick. Evelyn's here. Hello, friends. Have fun tonight with Cindy, Sherri, and Jim. Oh, that's right. She can't be here because she's at a dance recital with her daughter.
Okay.
And
Well, hi,
Sherri's
Evelyn.
already, and Sherri on a low carb journey is here saying hi to Evelyn. Lynn's here saying hi. And again, Sherri, get out of the chat, Sherri. You can
That's right,
speak it.
y'all.
You don't have to type it. Get out of the chat.
Yes, ma'am.
Charlie, hello, Evelyn, Lynn, and Sherri. Karen from Low Carb Spin is in the house. Uh, Aaron, Booby Goats. Hi, everyone. Good evening. Hello. Another one that's doing beef, butter, bacon, and eggs this year. And again, there's Sherri in the chat. Get your fingers off the keyboard. So, Sherri, you've been on with me before, and you've told your story. And now you've had my phone. My phone's trying to pick up what I'm saying, and I don't ever do that. I guess Cindy told you, Sherri. Ha ha! Out of the chat.
She did.
That's right. That's right. Because she can speak it. Because I will highlight everything. And anyway, you've told your story. And when we met, Jim was going through a really rough time. And when we met at the Columbus meetup, you were there with your son. This was a couple years ago now.
Mm-hmm.
That
Yep.
he was in and out. Jim, you were in and out of hospitals, right?
Hospitals, nursing homes. I was in hospital twice and two or three nursing homes. And this is the best thing is I'm supposed to be on cardiac diet and diabetic diet, and they were bringing in white rice, cookies, brownies, and usually when Shane came in, I said, "Shane, do you want a brownie?" And he go, "Yeah." And I throw him the cookies and the brownies to keep me off my sugar down.
All right, Jim, you're watching the TV. You need to
Yeah.
watch the camera.
Well,
You know,
I can see it better sometimes. That's smaller.
I'm just kidding. I,
at least his
I
fingers aren't
had to
on the
bust you a
keyboard.
little bit. But
Yeah.
anyway, wow, the chat just blew up. Um, so I'm going to go through the chat real quick again, address everyone that just came in, and then we're going to hear your story
Okay.
from the beginning. Not from the day you were born or anything like that, but
Well, I have to let Sherri because some of the stuff when I got rushed into the hospital, I don't remember.
of course not.
She remembered because I was full of infection from the diabetic wound I had on my foot, and I don't remember like the first
I'll
three or
help you
four
along.
weeks.
Yeah, see, that's why we're letting her sit in.
As long as
All
I
right.
behave
Anyway,
myself, right?
this this is Tanya. Well. Look who's here. Yes, ma'am. She's another one doing beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. Hello, Andy. My lady laugh a lot. Tell Susan we said hello. Sean is here. Hello, Sean. And they're all saying hi. I released another Butter Woman commercial. It's on Instagram. I did share a link in my YouTube post. You're so crazy, Butter Woman. Hey, all at work but lurking. Yes, you lurk, Butter Woman. This is my husband. See, he's out there watching. And And Lynn saying hi to Brian, my guinea pig, Mr. Pig. That's funny. So, Jim, whichever of you want to start from, what got you started on the low carb journey?
More or less when I got sick.
Yeah.
Sherry would bring me in meals, and it would be like a Burger King Whopper with just the meat, and that's what I'd eat for my meal. Half the time at the nursing home, I would ask for a half a peanut butter sandwich, and that was what I ate for lunch. And they did have eggs at the one place for a while. Then they went to that powder eggs or the pre-mixed, and I couldn't eat them. They just,
They're nasty.
yeah, they are. But I've lost a lot of weight when I was in the hospital nursing home.
Right.
And she can tell you about the infection. And matter of fact, I call her at 3 o'clock in the morning saying they moved me. I didn't know where I was.
Totally out of his mind.
And it was kind of scary because I really didn't know where I was.
Wow.
And here I was in the hospital room all the time. So
That was in 2022. In
Okay,
May of
Sherry,
2022,
I can't hear you as good.
He's got the loud mouth. That's why, probably. In May of 22 was when I started on keto. And so I got him a little bit on it then, but then September is when he ended up in the hospital. And he ended up 8 months straight in hospital, nursing home, hospital, back to a couple more nursing homes. So it's quite a long time there when he was out sick. So that's when he started feeling a little bit more like himself. That's when he started telling them no when they wanted to give him junk food.
Right. If you could, Sherry, really having a hard time hearing you.
Okay. Let me see if we can move up some.
it might be your mic.
Let me try taking this out. Is that any better?
Well, between that and you
And I
moved
can't
real
hear you
real
with that.
close.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
You moved real close. That's what he said. Or she said.
Can you hear me now?
You're real low. Jim is fine, but you're real low.
Okay.
You want to switch?
Well, I don't know if these actually have a mic or if they're just.
Hold on.
Sorry, everybody.
Oh, you're fine. Woo!
Is that any better?
That's good. Now,
Okay.
Jim, when he gets all situated,
I got it. Does it sound okay?
perfect,
All right.
perfect. I just want people to be able to hear, and if I was having trouble, they may have been also.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, go ahead with what you were saying, Sherry. Sorry about
Okay. Yeah, all right. No problem. So that was May of 2022. I had started keto, and Jim started eating some low carb meals with me. And then September of 22, he ended up in the hospital. He had a diabetic wound on the bottom of his foot, your right foot, and he had let it go too long. The infection got through his system, and so from going in the hospital, he spent 8 months straight in the hospital and nursing homes before he got back home.
So that infection just spread throughout.
Yeah, and
Wow.
they kept him. We took him to ER,
Mhm.
and they kept him to monitor the infection. And the next day, I think it was, they went to do an MRI, and they twisted his knee when they went to put him in the MRI machine, and that caused him a huge flare-up of pain with that. It was the left knee.
No, right.
It was the opposite of
Yeah,
your
it was
foot.
the opposite. I walked
Yeah.
in, but I couldn't walk out. And then they took me by courtesy. I shouldn't say the name, but anyway, they brought me back home, and I couldn't get out of the chair because I had a recliner, and I couldn't get up or down because it was hurting so bad. We called the insurance, and the insurance said, having to take to the hospital for his knee. And they did x-rays, and I ended up getting gel shots in both knees. And after that, I started walking a little bit.
Yeah, the bits of the pieces that are missing there, he spent about a week in the hospital when he first went in, went to rehab at a nursing home. But mind you, he couldn't walk on one foot, couldn't use his knee on the other leg. And so then rehab basically full of infection and still sick, kind of out of it. So rehab then did no good for him. And then insurance ran out. We did one appeal, got it approved, and we were happy. And then we found out that only lasted 1 week. And so they sent him home in a squad because he still could not get up and walk. So they sent him home. He got in his recliner and he could not get up. Tried all night, the next day, and we thought home health was going to come in like the next day, and they said, no, it'll be another week or two. And I said, what's he supposed to do, lay there and die? And they said, no, just call the squad. So that landed him back in the hospital. And from there, that's when I think he spent about 8 weeks in the hospital while we had to work on getting him on Medicaid so he could go into the nursing home because we couldn't afford a nursing home. So, but in the hospital, I think he got bad infection again.
And it's the same thing. I was supposed to be on a cardiac diet, diabetic diet, and they were giving me stuff that I should not have been eating. So half the time, Shane would come in, and I'd hand him the cookies, the brownies, and even if there was something I couldn't eat, he would finish it off.
That's your son, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it was something else. And then I got it in my head. I started getting weighed at the nursing homes, went to the nursing home, and I found out I already lost like 70 pounds. And I said, well, if this is going to work, I'm not eating. And so I didn't really eat a lot of the stuff they were bringing me because white rice is one thing that diabetes are not supposed to eat, and sugar. I mean, everything had sugar in it and salt, and it was just what I went on my own and cut it out. And by the time, at one time, I weighed 454, and I weighed 270 when I got back home this last time.
Wow. And how tall are you?
6 foot.
Yeah.
And I lost 170 pounds through that time in the hospital and the nursing homes.
That's
I always
awesome.
say he lost half of that weight being sick, but the other half he has stuck to his low carb diet. He's not quite keto, but he is low carb, and that has helped him
And
tremendously.
Sherry's cooking all these good hamburgers and stuff that we're eating.
Mhm.
What's
How
the
about
name
when
of
she?
what was the name of the hamburger?
Oh, those crack cheeseburgers. I saw it on Facebook. Those are so good.
I
Oh,
don't know.
has
I don't know, but
it has sour cream in it, cheese, bacon, ranch seasoning,
and just
all
eat 'em
mixed in
plain.
your meat, and then make your patties, and those are really good.
interesting. Now, Jim, I got to ask you, the first time Sherry brought you a burger without a bun, what did you think?
I didn't really like it. I'm one of them old fashioned, a Whopper with cheese.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I had to get used to that. But I could get the onions and stuff on it, but I just wouldn't have any bread.
Right.
And that's a hard thing to say, no bread.
Trust me, I've been doing it for 4 years.
Yeah.
It's like almost 5 now.
It's easier now, so it's not as hard. When I first started out, it was kind of hard. But some of the aids knew that I wouldn't eat their lunch and stuff, and they would end up bringing me just a half a peanut butter sandwich or a whole one, but cut it in half, and I eat only half of it and send the rest back.
Yeah, you have to do the best you can when you're in the nursing home.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and in the hospitals and the crap they give
Yep.
you, it's like it's sad. It's really sad.
Yeah, and it's scary because when I is in the nursing home, you could ring the buzzer or something because you have to use the restroom or something. You never
Right.
knew when they were coming. It might be a half an hour or an hour after you hit the buzzer, and it's I didn't want to be in there. That was one
I,
thing I was working for.
I never went to a nursing home or a rehab, but when I had my knees done and I was in the hospital, when I had to use the bathroom, they better come because otherwise I'm getting up because I
Yeah.
can't wait.
Well, that
It's
was the whole
like,
thing. I couldn't put any weight on my right leg,
right, right.
and they finally got me a wheelchair, and I could roll the wheelchair into the restroom and get off of it because they got bars in there, and I could pick myself up and go.
Right.
And like I said, that was the start of me moving around a little bit. But I had to fight tooth and nail just to get that wheelchair so I could
Oh,
have it next to my bed.
that's crazy.
It took about 7 months of that time
Yeah.
before he was somewhat mobile again. He was
So when was it that the infection was gone? How long? I know 'cause I
It,
had an infection in my knee
well, I
and I was on antibiotics for like 8 months
they had me on
to get rid of it.
IV antibiotics and pills I took, but this happened on my right foot, and you know where your big toe is. It was on the ball of that big toe, and I stepped on a nail and ripped the skin right off,
Oh,
and I bandaged it because I was an EMT. I knew how to bandage it, but I put peroxide on it, and I found out peroxide takes all the healness, takes a lot of the
good bacteria.
good bacteria out to heal it. And so I
really?
did that. Yes, I did that every day. And about the fourth day, it was hurting so bad. Went in and they put me straight up into the ER and ran me up to MRI to check. And that's when I got my knee twisted and
Yeah.
made it even worse.
I hope my husband is still listening. His father swore on peroxide was going to be the healer of everything.
Well,
He
it's
he
good if you
thought
get,
that was going to be so good.
well, it's good on a cut on your hand and stuff because if it foams, it's getting the dirt and stuff out. But if it's on the bottom of your foot, it's taken away the healing process. And that was what the doctor explained to me. He said, you should never, if you use anything, use alcohol and wipe it down and make sure it's cleaned up with all the blood that's bled and then put your bandage on it.
Right, right. But
So, but
that's wild. But
I
you
found
said
that, I guess, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
no. Go ahead.
I found out I worked firefighting, EMT, EMTA, and all that. And we always use peroxides for kids that fell and on their knees and stuff, but I didn't realize it did all that.
Wow. Real quick, this is my sister Deb, finally here. Hi, everyone.
Hi,
Stacy's
Deb.
here.
Hey,
Yeah.
Stacy.
There you go. Sherry, Jeff Foltz is here. He's one of the first people you met that day that I met you.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, you guys impressed my son. He kept on talking about all of you guys at that
Yeah.
dinner.
Yep.
So,
It's always a good time.
Yep. This was Thomas. He's here. Ken is here along with Stacy.
Hi, guys.
Hello. Hi there, everyone.
hello.
I'm not sure of this person's name, but thank you for joining us. Saying hi to Thomas. So Aaron, Thomas. Now I know what you ladies were talking about today. Don't know. Land O'Lakes Butterballs. Okay. I didn't see that. So, hey, Ken and Stacy. Now I'm kind of like, what did I miss? And Thomas says, I have experienced, Jim, everything you are talking about. He has actually had to have his toes amputated.
Well, I've got a wound on my left big toe. Now they got me on strong antibiotics, trying to heal it, and I thought it was just about healed. And went in the other day, and they told me you're going to go back on antibiotics and see you in a week, and then we'll do another MRI after that. And
You're not putting peroxide on it, are you?
no. I got all the cream and stuff that they gave me to put on it, so it
Yeah.
was healing. It's just
Yeah, it was kind of odd. 2 weeks ago, we were there, and she said, I'll see you in 2 weeks, and I think that'll probably be your last visit. Then I took him in yesterday, and I said, Jim, your toe looks red. And they came in and they checked him out, and the infection was coming back. It got bigger instead of smaller. So back on antibiotics again, and we got to go back again next week.
Wow.
and she said there's another antibiotic is better if this doesn't work that I got on or taken. She's going to put me on that, and it should knock it out of me. But what I'm worried about, like I said, it's just that the healing process is not fast enough for me. But
Right.
the bad thing about it, the antibiotic sometimes shoots my sugar up. And then I'm on blood thinners and it shoots that up.
Are you
So,
diabetic?
yes, type 2.
Just eat meat. Just eat meat.
Yes.
He
Just
is
eat meat.
definitely, yeah.
I've been trying.
I'm serious, man. This is Nancy saying hello.
Hello.
Hi, Nancy. Thank you for joining us. This lady is I got to meet her in Florida. She is like, she's fantastic. Everybody I've met has been great. But yeah. And then Thomas said, I used to have to use Dakins for the bottom of my foot.
I've
Do you
heard
know
of
what that is, Jim?
No.
No. What?
I don't know. I don't know what Dakins is. Thomas? Anyhow, yeah, he was on last week and he talked about all that where he had to have all his toes removed. And yeah, it's.
Well, I was kind of stupid because I knew there was a hole there, but I thought it would heal. And I kept on letting it go. And my nurse that comes out to the house to check me, I says, I need to show you something. And she just about threw a fit because I didn't show it to her right away.
Me too.
Yeah.
I tried to get him to go to urgent care about a week before that, or maybe 2 weeks before that. And so that day, I knew his nurse was coming, and I had to go to work. And I said, promise me you're going to show this to the nurse today. And he did.
Yeah.
But I'm feeling good. And I get a good night's sleep, so
That's important.
Yeah. So
Sleep is important.
and I'm wearing a boot now, so it's
Yes.
keeping it uncovered or covered. So
Keeping it covered.
No
Well,
pressure, like your
yeah,
shoe
no
would put
pressure.
pressure on your
Right.
toe. This
Well,
is his
one
toes
of the
out.
things I found out, and it was my fault, I have a pair of slippers that I wore, and I didn't check them. And my shoes I wear are 14s, while the slippers were 13s, and it was pinching my toe, and I didn't know
Ouch.
it. So that's what caused the
Wow.
hole. So, but give me a couple of weeks. I'm hoping it'll be healed.
You'll be up dancing.
Yeah.
Andy says, we love you guys as well, Cindy. Well, thank you. Thomas said, it took my foot about a year and a half to fully close up, and I had ulcers and amputation. Imagine, so this Dakin stuff, he said, imagine peroxide times 10.
Yeah.
So it must be some powerful stuff.
Now this
And
is
then,
that hole in my bottom of my foot that I had. It took um, a good all eight or
Yeah,
9
quite a
months
while.
before the doctor said it looks like it's healed.
Mhm.
But
Yeah,
they
well,
kept, huh?
being
Sorry.
diabetic, you're slow to heal anyway.
Yeah.
My Brian is type 1 diabetic. And if he gets a scratch or, an open sore, like he's got that one on his head that we
Yeah.
showed Wednesday night, and he keeps scratching it, it keeps opening. But it takes forever for something like that to heal for him.
Well, I had the wall I hit, and we were going to the wound clinic, and I scraped it on the wall, and it just peeled my skin up, and I was bleeding everywhere and didn't even know it.
I went up
Sherry
to the
said,
window to check him in, and he went to have a seat. And I turned around, look at him. I'm like, Jim, your arm's bleeding. It was just running down his arm a whole lot, And so I knocked on the window because they weren't really open yet. I said, we've got an emergency. So they sent a
That's
nurse out to
that's
take care
those
of him.
blood thinners, man. That
Yep.
yeah,
they're rough. So
yep, they are.
Lynn said I could whip up some Dakin's solution for everyone. I used to make it for patients at my job.
Oh, wow.
Wow. I
There
guess
you go.
that stuff is powerful. They use Dakin's on me, the medical staff, to be more clear.
Yeah,
Have you had to use a wound vac, Jim?
no,
No.
You're lucky.
yeah,
Thomas did, and I did with my knee. It was crazy. I had a, they have to, when you have and I had the IV antibiotics, so the PICC line in your arm
yeah.
that goes in. I had that for a while. It's crazy.
And then they told him he had the MRSA, is what he had in his toe there.
Wow.
So he's kind of fighting that strong of an infection.
Well, the bad thing about it, in my left knee, for some reason, it just started swelling. And this, after I went to the ER, they pulled 2 vials of blood out of my knee because it swelled up, and they said that was gout. And they said the doctor says usually you get that in your feet, but you got it in your knee.
Wow.
And so I'm on gout medicine now too every day.
I used to have a list after this, he went through this long process. And I think the list was like this long of how many times he was at the hospital, just in like the 3 year span. It was a long list of, because when he came home, he's been home 2 years now, so that's great. But in that time, he's been in the hospital for AFib twice, congestive heart failure last May, and then your knee. So he likes to visit the hospital. I think
No, I don't.
I want to keep him out of there.
Well, Jim, you need to knock that stuff off.
I'm trying to.
Eat just meat for a while
This is the bad thing about
and
it.
eggs.
I went in to have a pulmonary test done, and I'm 6 foot tall, and I'm probably close to 270, 280, and they had me in this little glass box. My knees are against the glass, and my feet are curled up on the bottom. That didn't help my foot any. And then they shut this door, and I had to breathe in this tube. I said, "You talk about making look like science fiction."
Wow. Thomas said I had MRSA in my spine and it left me unable to even sit up in bed for over 2 months. Whoa.
It's nasty. If you get it, they tell you that's the worst infection you can get. And see, this is the big thing. I had L4 taken out in '89, and I got a big ball of arthritis there, and same place as my knees. I got arthritis in both knees. Well, when they put the gel shots in, that helped my knees, but I have never got a gel shot in my back, and I don't know if they'll ever do it. But where L4 was, it's probably about a softball size uh, arthritis, they said.
Oof. I must say it again. Eat your meat.
Yeah, I'm doing it.
I think that is what has kept him with us for these couple of years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He eats pretty much healthy.
If I don't
Thomas
dump 'em on the
said,
floor.
Jim, what did he say?
Sorry. I made last
She made
weekend.
steak for me. It was good, but she put it on one of our what kind of
We're
plate?
not used to eating off of real dishes because we use paper plates all the time.
And she put it on the plate, and when I went to cut it, I flinged that thing back on.
Right in the floor.
And I said, it tasted good.
Uh,
Oh, dang. Thomas said, Jim, stop chasing the nurses.
Yeah.
Do their job.
I said our neighbors probably wonder all the time because he's got all these women coming to the house every day when I go to work because he has an aide that comes every day. He has a nurse that comes sometimes twice a week and a physical therapist. And most of the time it's all women. I said, I bet the neighbors talk all the time.
See, he does. Thomas, he don't even have to go anywhere. They're coming to him.
Uh,
But yeah, it's like, wow. I know there for a while before he got home, he would come home and he'd be right back. He'd come home and be right back. And I remember seeing the post
mhm.
from you and oh my word, I felt so, I felt so bad for you guys. It was
Well, I asked Sherry about, I wore 6X pants, and I'm wearing 4X everything now.
very good. Keep going.
So,
Keep
matter of
going.
fact, this is a 4X shirt I had to buy, but it's almost a little too big.
It's too big.
Yeah, I need to get a 3X.
That's a birthday shirt from his mom. So if you're on here watching, Mom, thanks for the shirt.
Very
She
good.
she got me some shirts, and Sherry ordered me some pants, and they're nice and comfortable and cool.
Mhm.
They got 6 pockets in it. I'll tell you what, do you remember the old parachute pants?
Yep.
Well, that's what this material is like, but it stretches a little bit.
But they're not big like the parachute
No,
pants.
but they're called, what is that called? The
I
pants.
don't remember.
But anyway, it has 6 pockets, two down here, 2 up on the side, 2 in the back. And
Yeah,
they're
like
really,
cargo pants.
yeah, cargo pants, that's
Yeah.
what they are.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they're really comfortable, and they're lightweight, and it's nice for summer. So
Yep. My husband wears cargo shorts
yeah, I
all
got
year
them
long.
on too.
all year long.
All year long.
All year long. Thomas said, "You're lucky."
Yeah.
He says, "I have no pretty ladies chasing me." Now, Thomas, they didn't say they were pretty. They just said there's a bunch of women coming to the house.
Yeah. The oh, my PT lady has chickens, and she ends up bringing us chicken eggs all the time. And
Nothing wrong with that.
no, it isn't, because we eat eggs all the time. And
They've been some good eggs.
yeah,
Good eggs.
she has all different colored eggs too, gray, orange, and brown, and one was purple. Wasn't
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in fact, one
Oh,
time
yeah.
there was a white one in there, and I asked Jim, I said, what'd she do, run out of eggs? And she said, no, she's got one chicken that lays white eggs.
Yeah.
But I thought she put one from the store in to fill the carton.
We used to have chickens when we were in New Hampshire, and we had like 5 of them, and it would be all different color eggs. And I'll tell you, this is the honest to God truth, and nobody in the chat's going to believe me when I say this, but I can get Brian to come in here and attest to it. We had an egg so big from one of our chickens that inside the egg was another whole egg, shell and all.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was the craziest thing I'd ever seen in my life.
When I was a kid, we raised eggs, and we had a rooster, and we were hoping to, get chicks and stuff, because we had bunnies and chickens, and we got eggs every morning.
Yep.
And my brothers used to tease our rooster, and my dad would go out there to get eggs, and that rooster would attack you. And he'd come in and said, "Who's been messing with the rooster?" And you mess with one, they come after you.
Oh, well, we never had a rooster, thank goodness.
Yeah. But
But
yeah,
Glenn says, wonderful weight loss, Jim. Sorry you had to go through all that, though.
no, I'm gonna stick with it because I want to get down to about 250.
And
That's what
Thomas
I'm
says, it's
shooting
always
for.
good to have pants and shirts. I'm glad they are parachute pants. We would have to call you Bobby Brown,
Yeah.
not parachute pants.
Well, they were in style well when I was little, probably teenager, and that was the style then. But you never see them; they went out of style, and that's what these remind me of. Though when we got them, is parachute pants. They're real thin, and it's just something else. And then all these new PT people and everybody that comes. I have old TV shows on, One Adam 12 and Emergency, and they said, I don't remember that. They're too young.
He's a John Wayne fan too.
Yeah.
He's got his John Wayne blanket here.
Yep.
Elvis, John Wayne, all of those.
My dad used to watch all the Westerns, and oh
Yeah.
my goodness, all the time. My great aunt lived with us. She raised our mother and her brothers, and she was a Gunsmoke fan. Holy
Yeah.
mackerel! That's like every
I
Monday
couldn't-
night, Gunsmoke.
Yeah. I like black and whites, and ask Sherri about the black and white Westerns. She can't stand it.
Just some of that I watch with him, but yeah, I got him a Roku because we don't have cable, and so
Yeah.
he finds all kinds of movies on there to watch.
Andy Griffiths is one of my favorites too. With
Oh yeah,
Don Knotts. Yeah.
that was some good TV back then.
Yeah,
You know.
you don't see that. Mamma Mia, the movie Mamma Mia was good, and what was that other one we seen? Mamma Mia 2. But and Grease. I love Grease because that brought back the 50s and 60s for me.
Yep.
Because the Bee Gees and everybody sang, and
Yep.
Olivia Newton-John,
I'll,
John
yeah.
Travolta.
I'll have to make all you ladies jealous. My husband likes to watch Hallmark movies with me.
They're good.
They are. Now, my
Right.
favorite is a Christmas card.
Oh yeah.
And that's my favorite. And I missed it this year. I didn't get to see it because I was sick and stuff.
I bet you could still find it.
Oh, yeah.
Brian said, still here, and the egg story is true.
Yeah. That's it.
That was wild, though. I mean, we saw quite a few double yolk eggs, but I had never before and never after that seen a whole egg inside of another egg.
That's
I'm like,
unusual.
that chicken had to hurt.
Yeah.
We can't have chickens here. My mom's afraid of birds. Any kind of bird.
Mhm. Well, we had to get rid of them after a while because they attract the chicken food, other than when they're just grazing in the yard.
Yeah.
And their poop attract
Yeah.
rats.
Oh.
Yeah.
And my son has a work truck, and he would park it in the driveway, and these rats had chewed the wiring in his work truck twice.
Oh my. That'd
So
be bad.
we had a guy come out and set tons of traps, and I don't even remember how many they caught. There were quite a few.
Yeah. If you got one, there was about 20 others.
We had somebody. Oh no, they got a lot of them because they had traps set up all around the yard by the coop, buried, and it was bad. But we had people that had a farm that were wanting to get more chickens that my son's wife knew, and they came and got them. So they went to somebody that was going to take care of them and everything, but We just couldn't. And we lived in a city. We didn't have a big yard that we could put them way away.
Right.
And it was a bad situation. It was a bad idea to do it. It was great for a time being, getting the eggs. Oh,
Probably less expensive to buy them at the store than to pay for all of that, wasn't it?
mhm. Yeah, in the long run, yeah. Erin says, I took an egg from a broody hen and busted it. It popped so loud. And she said, the smell. And she says she loves ABBA.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Now, see, I wasn't into, I've always been like in the 70s listening to easy listening music.
Yeah.
I could never tell you who it was that was singing the song or what the title of the song was. And to this day, I cannot tell you artist and song titles. And I don't care. But Brian, on the other hand, straight out. He's like music buff.
I like the music, Sound of Music. Any of that had a lot of music in it.
Mhm.
And I always did like that. Same way with the Hallmark. A lot of them are really good to watch because it's just a nice, peaceful. They don't make the wholesome movies anymore. It's all killing, shooting.
Yeah, the good movie from back in the day that I liked was Oklahoma.
Oh,
Yeah.
That had a lot of good music in it.
Shirley Jones.
It was good. It was like, wow. And that Music Man was
Yeah.
good. That, 76 trombones. That's why. Because I graduated in 76 from high school. So it was,
What year did you graduate?
79.
79. Not too
God,
far
I'm
behind.
older than him too.
That's all right. This is the time I get to razz on him because he's 9 years older than me. But right now, until my birthday next month, he's 10 years older. I just rub that in a little every year.
It's funny, Wendy Loving It on Keto, this morning on Wendy's video, she was talking how she robbed the cradle. This Harry is a year younger than her. And I commented, I said, if you robbed the cradle, what the hell did I do? Brian is 4 years younger than me. I'm like, dang on.
Well,
It was
Sherri
fun.
should tell you the story how we met.
Oh, well, my aunt, who was a widow, started dating his uncle, who was a widower. And then they got pretty serious and they introduced us and we went on a blind date with them. And that's how we ended up together. So we are kind of double related. They would always sign our cards, aunt, uncle, uncle.
So did they wind up getting together and getting
They
married?
did.
Yeah.
They
Wow,
did. They got
that's
married
wild.
before we did. Yep.
That's wild.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
Hmm.
So Jim, health-wise, infection, well, now you have another infection. The other one is gone. Now you have a different one in the other foot.
Yeah.
Aside from that and having to be on crappy antibiotics and being diabetic, how are you?
Okay. When I came out of the nursing home, I had bed wounds on my bottom, and that took a long time to heal. And but I got rid of them, and then the other foot was healed, and I was doing okay. I just didn't realize I was wearing the wrong shoes, and that's the wound doctor gave me a prescription, and I'm going as soon as this is healed. I want to go get me a pair of tennis shoes. I can get a pair of diabetic shoes every year, and she gave me a prescription for it.
Good.
So I just want to get a pair of tennis shoes that fit.
Yep. Yeah, you go and let them measure you.
Well, I got the what are them called? The slip-on ones.
Oh yeah, he likes his Skechers.
Skechers, and the Skechers weren't bothering me. It was my slippers that did it, and I didn't realize they were 13s. They weren't 14s, and I ordered 14s. Thought they were 14s.
Wow.
So,
Now
but
I wear Skechers a lot, but I've also
yeah,
heard that they're not the best shoes.
no, they're flat soled. They're angled where when you stand on them, they do tilt your foot forward.
But they're also, I don't know, but a lot of people say they have problems with their feet from wearing Skechers.
Yeah.
And I haven't had that too much. Thank
It
goodness.
all depends on socks you wear too, because if your foot slides back and forth in them, that can cause you a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
I
Well, I
wear
wear,
surgical, I wear surgical hose, and they're rubberized, so they don't move very much in the Skechers. So,
yeah. Well, I wear compression socks all the time.
well, that's what these are compression socks, but they're, I can't show you, but I'll raise my leg up and show you. But it's just a pull-up sock that goes all the way up, and they're rubberized, so it's
Right.
banded to compress your legs so they don't swell.
Yep. Yep. So Thomas said the shoes are a problem sometimes, mostly
Yes.
because of the inserts. With him not having his toes, he has to get inserts so his foot doesn't.
Yeah, go all the way forward.
He walks
That would be
out of
rough.
his
Yeah.
shoes.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy. You know, Brian's had some issues with his diabetes, you know, but he's been really lucky a lot. I mean, he's had eye issues where he's had the bleeding behind in his eyes where he had to have laser surgery and stuff. But other than that, I mean, he's been great. And you figure he's been diabetic since he was 2 and he's 63.
Yeah. That's what I
And,
got to do next is get my eyes tested.
yep.
So
You,
that's not really thrilling to me, but I know my watching TV or reading off my phone, it's blurry a little bit, so I know I need it. So
might have cataracts.
no, my eyes, I'm just getting old.
Well, yeah, that goes with
That's,
it.
that's it.
I've had cataract surgery in both eyes. These are strictly for close up.
Yeah.
My other glasses,
That's,
I usually wear most often, but they're like bifocals. The top half is nothing. The bottom is
yeah.
the readers,
My
basically.
I'm nearsighted, so I can see far away,
Mhm.
but I look underneath my glasses to read my Bible and to do stuff, and I can see it. That's one of the things that I was going to bring up too. I believe in the Lord. I prayed to Him for a long time when I was in high school to help me lose my weight, and you always wonder about Him answering your prayers, and He does answer it, but it's in a long process of finding out because I had to go through the hospital, the nursing homes, and here I'm down.
Well,
And
Jim,
I do believe.
you had to do some of the work. He couldn't just do it all.
Well, I know, but I mean, he got me started because I was I was one of them stubborn ones that, hey, there's a McDonald's, just stop and pull in and get there. I mean, that was the way because I worked EMS and fire, and you got lunch, you drive through a McDonald's or a Burger King, and that was where you got your lunch. And that was
Yeah.
the worst thing you could do. So
Wow. So how is your son doing these days?
Pretty
doing good.
good. Just graduated and uh, figuring out what he's gonna do.
Nice.
Young. He's still 18, so
Yep.
thinks like an 18-year-old.
Yep. I remember those days. That was a long time ago for me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
With my kids, that was a long time ago. But yeah, my kids are 44 and almost 43.
We're old enough to be grandparents
Yeah.
technically, but
Tell your husband I said hi and to take care of yourself too.
Oh, I'm not going anywhere.
No,
He's, he,
I meant just take both of you take care of yourselves.
oh, we are. He's the, he has his cervical dystonia that he has.
Yeah.
He goes to the doctor next month to see if they can fine tune it some more. Because when he had the surgery, he had leads put in his brain that are attached to a battery that's in his chest. And he's had a battery replaced once, but he's going next month, like I said, to see if they can tweak the settings on this thing, because it's hard to explain. It runs, the battery is all doing the thing, and it runs off of like an iPod. So Brian can move numbers up and down, because what he has is a progressive, it'll progressively get worse. And this surgery has prevented him from being so bad that he couldn't walk. And that's where he is if we turn this thing off. Because like if he has to go have an MRI done, he has to turn this iPod thing off to shut, he can't walk. And it's done so much good for him. But we can both see that it's starting to get a little worse. And I don't know if there's anything else they can do, or if they can tweak it better than he can through his iPod or through the machinery, the thing they have. I don't know. It's hard to explain. But yeah, it's crazy. And Brian says, Jim, I do thank you. We are busy and it's good.
Yeah.
We stay busy. Brian has been redoing the garage, and because we have, we're doing reselling, so we're really trying hard with it. And we had gotten a small storage unit to put stuff in because we were inundating our house with things, but now we want to bring it back into the house, but into the garage. Well, Brian has got so many tools. He has a big lathe. He has a laser engraver. He has several saws. He's got a router table. He's got a jeweler's bench that was given to him by our neighbors that used to live across the street from us in New Hampshire. This thing is like, that thing's amazing. But it's just there. And I mean, so the whole perimeter of the garage and then some is his tools. Very little space for a car when the weather's bad.
Yeah.
Well, he's moving things, and he has gotten rid of some stuff. Some things we've sold. But he's moving his laser engraver table up against the wall. So he moved some shelving out from there that he had there. He's been busy, straight up busy. So, he's little by little, he brings me things out of the garage. He said, try to sell this. Okay. So we're having fun with it,
maybe
and
you
then
can hire him out. I've got a bunch of stuff that needs cleaned out.
I'm telling you, I already said on the live stream, I will hire this man. I can't even tell you. Every time I go away somewhere, I come home, everything is cleaned, everything is done. But the other day, I was just in our spare bedroom listing things on eBay. And I'm looking, I'm like, I heard him, I'm like, what are you doing? He says, cleaning the bathroom. And we share the chores here. I'm allergic to dust when it's moving around. And that's when it's most bothersome. So he does all the dusting. I do the laundry. He does the vacuuming of the bedrooms. It's the only place there's carpet. And I take care of the rest of the floors. And I do the bathrooms. So that day he's like, well, you got a lot. You're doing a lot. I can do this and help you. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to argue. I am not going to complain. You can do whatever.
That
But
reminds
it
me of
was
my mom and dad. My dad was in the army for Vietnam, and so uh, my mom loved it whenever he would help and he would do the dishes because he literally cleaned the whole kitchen when he did the dishes. And she said that was kind of nice.
now my mom. When I was younger, this is something I have never talked about. When I was younger, whenever I get in trouble or get mad, I would go in our kitchen and clean, wiping down cabinets and everything. Well, let's make her mad some more. But I just, otherwise, I was going to run my mouth and get in more trouble. So it was better for me to get away and just do something.
The only thing that's happened since all this is done, Sherri had to learn to cook. And it was funny because she would ask me questions, and I was always the one I would cook. And when she came home, supper was ready. And when I got sick, she had to do the cooking and read. And still to this day, she has, how long should I leave this on for? How long should I leave this on for?
I'm always Googling because I'll make something, but then go to make it again, and I won't remember the details on how long to cook it and what temperature. And so I'm always on my phone looking at Google.
But I ain't putting her down. She's learned a lot. And like I said, the
Yeah.
hamburgers she made last night were the crack, you know, they
Yeah.
were good because they had little pieces of bacon and cheese and a little bit of yogurt. Was it yogurt?
Sour cream.
Sour cream. And they really turn out good. So
Yeah, I was spoiled for what, about 22 years of marriage to
yeah,
have a husband that loved to cook. And so
I did. I love to cook. I still do.
so
I
I
wanted to
hardly
open
ever
up-
had to cook anything.
I wanted to open up at a restaurant or a pizza shop, and I
Yeah.
never did do it. I worked in a pizza shop part time, and me and he died of cancer, but it was Alan's Pizza, and I used to help every once in a while, and we'd have a blast. And we put them out. We put pizzas out all night long, and close up, and just I enjoyed that. I thought that was
Yeah.
great.
I used to manage a pizza shop, a little mom
Yeah.
and pop one in Cincinnati, and
Yeah.
yeah, it was fun.
Oh yeah, and we
But
made
man,
subs and stuff, and just
Mhm.
all different kinds.
Yep, it was good. Erin has to go. She's going to go eat some burger patties.
Well, enjoy. How's your
Yes.
BBBE going so far?
Mine, good, actually, good.
Got one
I've
week
had
down, right?
I've
Just about.
had one diet soda since I started,
That's
and
not bad.
that's something I never gave up. You know, but I'm trying really hard not to drink any. It's a little whatever, but food wise, it's strictly been beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. I have not had any keto chow. I walk past cookies all day long. I don't touch them. Nothing. You know, it's really good because I don't know if you saw the prep video that I put up where I was prep. I did some BBBE prep.
I didn't see that yet.
I had
We got to catch
I
up.
I had boiled like a dozen and a half eggs. I had gotten some stir fry beef strips from the store, from Walmart. Put those in the dehydrator, and I browned up several pounds of ground beef. And let me see, made Chris Cooking Nashville's butter mayonnaise, and I bought egg life wraps. So I was ready. And I bought deli roast beef from Aldi's.
See, I
And I'll
haven't had
tell you,
those.
Yeah.
an egg life wrap with the butter mayonnaise on it and roast beef and egg salad made with the butter mayonnaise was delicious.
Sounds
This is
good.
this is good. And then we have occasionally we have steaks and plenty of eggs. Plenty. I love eggs. I could do those all day, every
I
day.
can too. That's what I like with it.
But Evelyn actually gave me an idea to do something different is to take some of the deli roast beef and line the muffin tin with it, and then put the eggs in it and put bacon and then bake those.
Yeah, that'd be
That
something.
sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I made waffles with I put some of the brown ground beef down in the waffle maker, and I just scrambled up a few eggs and put some pieces of my burnt bacon in with the eggs and poured it in the muffin pan over the ground beef and made waffles. I can't have cheese, so like, you find ways, man. You
Yep.
just find ways to do something different. I still have 4 of those in the freezer. So, yeah,
Jim's a
it's
fan of
going good.
keto chow.
Hmm?
He's a keto chow fan too.
I love that stuff. Let me say.
Well, I started because I'm on this antibiotic and it's real strong. So she's been making me shakes, and I'll take my regular pills early and then drink some coffee with it, and then drink my keto shell shake and take my antibiotic, and that coats it, and I don't get sick as I was. Because
Good.
that stuff really messes up your stomach.
Yeah, see, I got really lucky. I had gotten some probiotic pills back when I was on all those months and months
Yeah.
of antibiotics, 6 weeks of IV antibiotics, and then 8 months of oral.
Yeah.
But
They say it takes
and then
the
I would eat some yogurt, and I bought the probiotic pills that have to
Yeah.
stay in the refrigerator.
Yeah,
And
they say
between
it
the
takes
two of those, it saved me.
it takes
really
the
did.
bacteria from your body.
Yeah, it takes
Yeah.
your good
Stomach.
bacteria out
Yeah.
of your gut. Yep.
That's what she warned me about. Eat
Yeah.
cottage cheese or yogurt and probiotics. And we haven't found we used to find the ones that were just chewable, but no sugar on them. And the only one she found was the ones that had sugar, but it's not that much sugar on them. But I don't like taking them very much. So I've been eating a lot of yogurt.
Yeah. I've been adding prime protein, the flavored.
Equip protein.
Yeah, the strawberry. Take a scoop of that and mix it in with some yogurt, and have strawberry yogurt. It's really
It's
good.
good.
And different flavors. They're good. I've been staying carnivore this month, so I haven't done anything like that for a while, but so I do have cheese and dairy and but we've been.
Just go a step further and do beef, butter, bacon, and eggs with us, Sherri.
I'm almost there. Yeah. And it's so funny. Been so far behind on everybody's videos that I didn't even know that this was the month everybody was doing that, and I just had decided I wanted to try this. So
She's been running me back and forth to doctors all the time. I had to do 2 tests this week, and then I got to do another test next. Is it next Friday?
yep,
Friday.
he's kept me pretty busy between working 40 hours a week at my job and lots of doctor appointments, and then helping my mom with some appointments.
And then I got to go
It's been busy,
get a sleep
but it's
clinic
all right.
done.
You are busy.
Yeah,
Woo.
I am busy.
I am so glad I'm retired. I'll tell you. But I said we stay busy here, but that's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
I don't have anybody to answer to anymore. Thank goodness.
I was talking with a lady at work, and I between him, mom, Shane, all these appointments just this year since January, I've used probably about a week and a half of my vacation time. And I said, I need to start taking pictures when I go to the doctors and put together my vacation photo album.
It's funny, but that's sad.
Yeah.
It is.
But
I
it's
felt
all right.
bad about it because I told her, I said, every time something, I says, can't we change it? And I can only change it for so long, and I got to do it.
Yeah, that does your son drive?
Yeah, he's been busy too, so it's just we're just a busy family.
Yeah,
But hey, we're grateful to be here, and God keeps looking out for us. So,
that's
and
it. It was a lot. It was a lot of touch and go for a while.
yep, yep.
Kind of scary.
Hmm.
So I have to eat good so I can keep my energy up.
Yep, gotta. Yeah, because if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care. You can't be there
Right.
for him, and
That's
vice
right.
versa. You got to take care of yourself, or you can't be there for her.
I know. That's
And
the whole
that's
thing.
when people talk about what is your why for doing this, and I've talked about this often. It's Brian,
Yeah.
and seeing what he goes through with his diabetes, and everything's good with that, but with this dystonia, it's like, you know it's like, yeah, we're going to keep going, and that's
Mm-hmm.
all there is to it. I've seen him improve so much with his diabetes, with eating this way, that it just does not make sense to do anything different.
Mm-mm.
Switching it up a little bit, challenging yourself now and then, doing like I've done egg fast. He's not doing beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. He's like, nope. If I do an egg fast, he's like, nope. But he's still, I mean, he's pretty good. The biggest draw for him is cashews that are sitting on our counter. He can't very often walk by it without grabbing a handful. But if
They
that's the
are
worst
addicting.
he
They're good.
does, you know, if that's the worst he does, he's got his A1C pretty steady at 6.4.
Oh yeah, that
That's what
doesn't
And for
sound
a
mine
bad at
type
all.
1 diabetic, when I
Yeah,
met him, it was 17. His A1C was
yeah.
17. And when we moved from from New Hampshire to Kentucky, it was 7.9. And I started keto in September 2020. Brian started a couple weeks later. So he had only been on it about a year at that point when we moved. And his A1C had gone down to where it is now. And
That's a big change.
one time it had gotten down to 6.1, and he was about crying. He says, I never thought I'd ever see numbers like that, and it's been a long time for him, you know? So, yeah. The chat is quiet. Man, nobody's saying anything.
Yeah.
I'm watching it. It's like nobody is like, they're just listening, or
All
they
right,
all
well,
ran
just bring
away.
on some questions or something.
I know, right?
Whatever you want to know, within reason.
Well, yeah. But yeah, it just got, it was just, Aaron's the last one that said bye. Nobody, nobody even said goodbye to her. Is anybody still with us in the chat?
Well, it looks like 16 are watching.
It's
Well,
pretty wild. I
yeah.
see. I don't even see those numbers from
Okay.
my end,
Yeah.
but I could
Well,
if I had my phone like you're
I had to
doing.
sneak my fingers back on the keyboard to go check that.
There's one.
Lynn's still here. Sean is still here. And my sister texts me instead of asking a question, where are they from?
We're from Ohio,
Yeah.
little small town about 30 miles east of Columbus.
Yep.
Nancy's still here. Y'all just got really quiet. I'm used to this chat just going. I'm still trying to get Nancy on here too. Miss Tanner. Like, here you go. Man, my husband is with it. Hit the like button, please.
Thanks, Brian. I didn't even think of that, but I'll go do it now. Like
My
it and
sister,
share it.
Deb said, yes, I'm listening. Y'all are very interesting.
Well, at least for something. Anyway, right?
And Angel says, still here. Cheers from Oregon. And Sean says, it was great getting to meet both of you during the Hungry Horde meetup.
Yeah,
That's
that was a
something
lot
I
of fun.
couldn't make it to. Are you coming to the Ohio meetup?
When is
When
the
is it?
next Ohio meetup?
June 28th in Eaton.
Where's he?
Probably not.
Where's eating at?
I think
Eaton,
it's,
Ohio. It's like the other side of Dayton.
yeah, I think
It's a little long.
it's kind of, that's far for Jim to travel. This last one wasn't too far away. It was only about a half-hour away. So that's how Jim got to go with us to that one. So,
Unless I get this healed and stuff.
yeah. Getting better, and then next year he can do all of them, maybe.
Yeah. Deb says to Jim, you remind me of someone my husband used to volunteer with in fire and EMS.
Yeah. I
And he
used
was
to
from
love,
Cincinnati.
yeah, I loved firefighting and ambulance service and squad. I worked for 3 different companies at one time. So I miss that. Matter of fact, to this day, when we pull up by a accident or something, I want to get out, but I know I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got quite the job history. When he was out of high school, he was a bouncer in a bar. I didn't know him back then.
Yeah.
And then an armored car driver. He's done that job. He likes
That
the
would be
dangerous
interesting.
jobs. Yeah.
So Andy says, Andy is the one that's putting on that's hosting the Eaton meetup.
Yeah.
She said, Ohio's a big state. We're 2 hours west of Columbus.
Yeah. Maybe next time, Andy.
Yep, this is their second, and they want to do it annually. So, and it was fun. We went last year. We're going this year.
Yeah, I
It was
enjoyed
fun.
your videos from last year when you videoed everybody's story.
Right. I'm going to put those in their separate playlist, and I'm going to throw that playlist up on my Facebook page, the support page.
That was when we saw Evelyn.
Yeah.
And Evelyn and her husband sat across the table from us at the Hungry Horde meetup.
Yeah,
And,
she's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah.
She is. I mean, like I said, everybody is. I can't say,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
like
No,
Nancy.
we met a lot.
Nancy was great when we went to Florida, and I got to meet Hope and Andy and Sarah Joy, and you know, so many people, and it was like, wow. And I really, really like the smaller meetups. Keto Palooza was great.
Yeah.
You know, it's not happening this year, and hopefully, you know, I don't think she'll ever do it again, but I hope she does. But the bigger meetups like the Hack Your Health, and they're not as fun to me anyway. You know, and it's like, and like when we went to Hack Your Health last year, Deb and I went, and it was so just more geared towards carnivores than anything
Wow.
else. And it was, you know, it was like, what about the rest of us? You know, and that's how I felt. It was like there was a lot of good information out there, but I hear it all the time on people's channels. I didn't need to go spend money to go listen to it there. You know, it was crazy, but you know, it is what it is. But
More like a
the local
convention.
meetups are great. And
Yeah.
we drive 3.5, 4 hours to get to one, only to enjoy it. And then turn around and drive that way back home the same day. So,
Yeah, we
it's
wouldn't
like,
be able to do that.
No, it's,
no, it's a little tough. It's
Yeah.
like right now with Max being so old and not really not well, Brian opted to stay home with him. And Deb was in town, and we went to the one in Amo, Indiana, when that Dustin and Jackie and
Yeah.
Jennifer had. So we went to that one, and her and I did. But Brian's been there with me before. But we just can't. We didn't have anybody that could come and take Max out for us. So Brian says, "I'll just stay home, and you just go." So we did.
That's our noisy air conditioner.
Oh, I don't.
The
I hear
furnace is
my
like right
motor
here
on my
beside me.
computer. I only hear the motor on my computer going.
Oh,
That's
okay.
I don't hear that at all. But anyhow, if anybody has any questions for Jim or Sherri, put them in the chat now. I just saw a foot. Oh no. I start playing around, I'll be hitting the wrong things. I do want to thank all my members. I'm gonna let that scroll for a little while. But seriously, if anybody has any questions. I know Andy and Evelyn are getting ready to go on the low carb cruise
That's
to
gonna be
Alaska.
fun.
Yep. That's coming up real quick, like next week. 4
Cruises
days,
are
5
great.
days. What, Sherri?
As cruises are great. I haven't been on any since what 1999, maybe early 2000. That's the last time I've even flown. I haven't even flown since after like 9/11 or anything. So, but cruises were great. I think I did maybe 3, and I would do them again if I could.
Oh, I would fly. I definitely fly, but I have never been on a cruise. So I'd be so afraid I'd get seasick or motion
Well,
sickness. And I'm
yeah,
like, no.
I usually would get it maybe one night, and then but if I just like drink some pop and maybe take a little nap, then I was fine the whole rest of the cruise.
Mm.
But looking back, I think it was probably because I probably had an alcoholic drink on an empty stomach. That probably didn't help anything.
Probably not.
No,
That just sends you over the edge.
yeah, I don't recommend that.
No. So Andy said the cruise is from Friday to Friday. Well, you
Oh,
ladies have
sounds
fun.
great. Yeah,
Have fun. That'll be fun, I guess. It said, Sherri, congrats on your son graduating. Super awesome.
thank
Yes.
you.
And look who decided to show up. Rick.
Hello.
Hello, Rick. You must be off of work now and able to join us. We met Rick. Rick lives in New Hampshire. So one of the trips, the last trip we went to New Hampshire, we met up with him for lunch one Saturday. And it was great. We had a good time. So, yeah, and he's been on too. He's been on here telling his story. That's one to definitely watch too. Because, yeah, he's been through there and back. I'll just, Rick saying, I'm in a noisy restaurant, so can't hear too much. Well, you're probably lucky because it's about time you showed up. I'm just teasing. But we've been there about an hour and 20 minutes already. Sherri
Time flies when
does.
you're having fun.
Sherri, do you have a YouTube channel?
I
Yes, ma'am.
do.
Let me see if I can pull it up without losing everything here. Because I don't have anybody else here with me. Or Andy's there. I don't know if she could grab it, but I'll just get it. I'm still here. I'm just behind the scenes here. Look. Whoa, Sherri, I'm looking at one of your old ones. Woo! Wow. All right, here's her link here. Sherri on low carb journey 460. What the heck?
I think YouTube gave me the 460 part.
Yeah, it's like I have a note from my mother, Lynn. Enjoy your dinner. Yes. Those two crack me up. He's always saying, I'm going to come pick you up and we're going to Cindy's house. Now, Lynn lives in Indiana. Yeah. That's wild. So there's her, Angel, there's her channel. Back in my hometown for my 50th high school reunion. Man, they all got old. And you didn't at all. No, no. 50th high school reunion for me is, holy crap, next year. Good Lord. Someday we will show up at your door, Cindy. Yeah, I'm waiting. I'm waiting. You know, it's all good. Oh, shit. They're funny.
If
But
I lived closer and I wasn't so busy, I'd dog sit Max for you. But
yeah, I get that. He's just an old dog, old fart. Rick says, no, I look the same. Yeah, okay. I want to see pictures of you from 50 years ago.
and it can't be an AI picture, right?
No. I'm planning the trip to Cindy's, Lynn. He's a hoot. No, we went to lunch that day, and then we went and we were talking, sitting there for 2 hours just talking. And it was a little diner that we like to go to when we're in town, where the town Brian grew up in. And we're sitting there, and I keep seeing people coming in and waiting for a table. I said, we need to get out of here so they can seat somebody else. And we went up to the hotel where Brian and I were staying, and I know Rick stayed there for like another hour, and we just talked. It was great, just getting to know one another even more. But seriously, if you don't watch any of the lives, I know you watch his.
That's how you know I've been busy, because I used to stay caught up, but
It's hard. It's hard
It
when you're busy. I've missed quite a few. Well, we bowl too in the fall and through the winter. And I was bowling 3 days a week, 2 nights and 1 afternoon. And I'm like, oh, I don't know. But I missed all the Tuesday night lives, which was Dustin, Chris, and Ash, and Keto Chow. Thursdays, 2 crazy ketos. And God only knows who else. I miss a lot. I'm like, there's no way of catching up. It's like when you're sitting at home and you think, oh, I could watch somebody on YouTube. I know it's rough. It was enjoyable, Rick. I agree. I totally agree. Look forward to seeing you again. But yeah. But anyway, if anybody has any questions for Jim and Sherri, this is the last time, because been about an hour and a half. And
And we're old and we're getting.
speak for yourself. I am not old. I am getting hungry.
Oh, okay. We did that before, so we're all right. I always
We,
joke we're old people. We eat early.
I'm always, well, we don't eat our first meal until later in the day, which, it's like usually anywhere from 1 to 3 before we eat our first meal. So I'm ready now because we went to Wendy's today because we were out and I got a triple baconator, plain, no cheese, no bread, just the meat, just the meat. It was good. And I was full.
That's a lot.
Not anymore.
That's a good one.
Yeah. I'm sticking with it. It's like I almost forgot to tell him no cheese. And she had taken my money and everything. She walked away and the manager came out and said, "Excuse me, I forgot. No cheese on one of those."
That reminds me, I was going to start my carnivore on the 1st of June, which was Sunday. Well, I didn't remember Sunday was the 1st of June. So I had got up and got my coffee and grabbed a keto cookie that I had made and sat down and ate that. And I'm like, well, I just messed up. I had a cookie I wasn't going to eat. But then the whole rest of the time I've been good.
That just means you got to do it on the 1st of July to make up for the 1st
Yeah,
of June.
yeah.
That's what that means. You have to extend it another day.
That might be it. Yeah. It's really
That's
not
it.
been bad, except for I have not been able to make carnivore ice cream turn out very well in my Ninja Creamy. But I
You
might
don't need
figure
it.
it out one day. Nah.
You don't need
But
it.
I did make my own whipped cream out of the heavy cream and put the prime protein powder in it and put it like in a dollop in the freezer. And it was like a little ice cream bar. That was good. So I could do that.
Really? See, for somebody that doesn't cook, now I can remember you asking me about the bread.
Oh, yeah. I still
I'm
don't
like,
make bread.
I have a really hard time with it.
Her bread's
I
real
haven't made any in a
small.
long time.
Yeah.
It's so small. You know who
It
makes
tastes,
good bread?
I know it tasted good, but it just was, did,
It would shrink.
yeah.
Yeah.
I have that issue sometimes. But the people, the two to watch that make bread is Low Carb Spin, Karen and Therese. They have the best recipes for their bread. And they've made rye bread, they've made sourdough bread, they've made brown bread. Oh my goodness, I can't even name them all. And if you're still here, Miss Karen, but yeah, she has a lot of, and it's good. If you like rye bread, that one is fantastic.
I do like it. Right.
Jim likes fry. Yeah. I watched some of her videos, but I never tried them. To me, it has to be super simple, or I know I'm not going to make it. He's got to get well so he can cook again, and then he can make us some bread.
Here, have you tried any of Chris's recipes?
No. I watch them sometimes, but I haven't tried. That new pizza looked good, like a deep dish pizza. He made it out of his 90-second bread recipe that he had, but he put it in like a silicone mold and microwaved it. That looked really good. Wouldn't mind
Now,
trying
I'll
that.
tell you what is extremely good that I've made quite a few. His mashed potatoes are great. I will say that. And making them out of egg whites, it's just incredible. But they taste like mashed potatoes.
Never
His
tried them.
pancake recipe is the best.
That sounds good.
Yes. And then a lot of his butter mayonnaise is good and spreadable. It doesn't get hard in the refrigerator. easy to make.
Easy even for me.
It's easy.
Okay.
It's egg yolks and melted butter. And then a little bit of Dijon mustard and apple cider vinegar. And then you
Oh,
add
that
in the
doesn't
egg
sound
whites at the end. That's it. In an immersion blender. That's it. That's all you need.
that we
And
could try.
it's really good. You know,
But then we
that
need
is
some bread to put it on.
egg whites. I mean, egg white wraps.
Yeah, I like those.
Hmm.
Jim's not used to those yet, but
Too soft.
yeah, they are different, but
Yeah.
I like them.
Now, have you watched Hope and Andy?
I have not.
They have a good pizza crust out too. It's like
Okay.
3 ingredients. Easy.
Hmm, that sounds good.
It's really good. Um, but they've used that to make crackers. They've used it as a pizza crust. That's really good. But what she does too with egg life wrap, she'll put cheese in a skillet and get it melting, put an egg life wrap on top of it, and then put your toppings in it and then fold it. It crisps up, Jim. It crisps up the
Okay.
outside of the egg life wrap because the cheese gets crispy on it. You can put
might be
whatever inside there, lunch meats, whatever meat you want in there,
Yeah.
eggs, it don't even matter.
It might be okay because it'd be crispy.
Yep, they're good. They're really
Yeah,
good like that.
his challenge is sandwiches are his thing, and he eats the low carb bread, like the Carb Smart bread. Um, and his aide when he has an aide that comes and would cook him something, if he wanted some egg, but he's usually just, nah, I just want my sandwich. So it works for him. So
Yeah.
I can't eat it very often, the low carb bread. It doesn't agree with me too well, but
Well, here you go. You have a new subscriber, an Angel.
well, thank you, Angel.
That one, I don't know why, but that one just popped up and it was right after I posted your link. Someday will show up at your door. That came up in front of all that. And Lynn said, make the mashed potatoes. But it's got to be a time when you have a little time because what takes the most time, seriously, is cooking the egg whites until there's no liquid left in the pan. And you got to cook them slow because you don't want to brown them or anything like that. You just want to, and then everything goes in the blender and it's quick. But it's worth it. They are really good.
That sounds good.
Well, bye, Rick. You come in late and you leave early. What the hell? Folks,
There
egg
is a
white
channel
wrap.
called that. Have you watched their channel? There's a channel called What the Hales. And
No,
they do resale kind of like you do. Jim used to watch it. Is how I'm
Yeah.
familiar with it. But
I can
his
might
last
make me get in trouble now because
They buy storage units
yeah.
and then
oh yeah,
resell everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
we
They're
just
funny.
we just went and bid on a storage unit and won it. And we had 2 days to clear it out. It took us an hour and a half to clear it out.
Yeah.
And
But
then
maybe
we
you'll
turned
get
the
some good
key.
stuff.
We
Get good
did.
stuff.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. We just have to sell it now, and then it'll be really good. No, there's a crock pot in there. There's a roasting pan. There is an electric grill. There's another kitchen, an air fryer. There's a wrought iron fireplace tool set and the grate that goes around the fireplace. That alone should bring us in a couple $100.
Yeah. I
We
saw
didn't
your
even
picture of
spend
that.
near that. Yes, I mean, it's amazing. And then there was something, a twin size mattress and frame. I mean, there was a lot of good stuff in there. And I'm like, you know. So Nancy said, Hope's egg life wrap hack is game changer. Tastes like a crispy taco shell. There you go. There you go,
Gotta
Jim.
try it.
Yep.
Lynn
I
has
could even
already
do that
been
carnivore.
subscribed. Do what?
Said I could do that carnivore.
Yeah, yes. Nancy said bye to Rick, and Lynn said, there it is. What the hell? So I don't know if you guys know how that all came about for us, this what the hell. But on Wednesdays, I mean, we just mess around with just me and Brian being on there. We'll talk about what we've done for the week or whatever. But Sherri, Nevada Pup, she sent me a video of it hailing in Arizona. Now my mind went to what the hell? No, I went to, like, what? Hail in Arizona? Well, then Sean Bradley in the chat that day I was talking about, he says, what the hell? And it just stuck. It was like, that's it. Well, Andy from Mission Carnivore, he made this design for me, and now it's in my merch shop for shirts or caps or whatever with what the hell on it. It's great. It's great. So yeah, there's all kinds of stuff in there. Now it just has to sail. I still like what the fog, but it wasn't foggy. You would get me in serious trouble. Hail is enough. Sean, now behave. What the fog? What the? So then they were asking me Wednesday what we're gonna call, what I want to call my people. Like Dr. Barry's tribe, Chris Cooking Nashville's band. And I'm like, my family. And everybody decided, oh, hailstones.
That would be good.
Like,
Be hard to explain for your keto channel, but
it's wild. It's just funny, you know. But now pay attention. What is my channel name?
it was my mom trying to. My mom was trying to call in. I saw it on my watch.
Hey, Mom, what's my channel name? It doesn't say keto in there anywhere. It's just my name, so I can do whatever.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
The Hellions. The Hellions. Oh, Sean, you're full of them. Oh, my goodness. So anyway, but that's where all that started. Sherri had sent me that picture, and I showed it to Brian, or that little video. And I mean, she had good size hail that day. And it was like, and in my mind, you know, you're thinking Arizona is hot. How the hell is it? How the heck is it hailing in Arizona? I'm just looking at my sister's comment. Hail raisers. That's it. Debbie, you got it. That's it. All right. Heck with hailstones. That's it. Lynn, you're in here. Sean, you're in here. Y'all witnesses. Nancy. Rick left. Sean says, love it, Deb. Those are both good. Sean, it's hail. Hail raisers. Yep, that's it. That's it. Nancy agrees. There we go. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. Friday nights, I love this. And this has been great because it's even been more laid back, and you guys are a lot of fun and absolutely You are so welcome to come on a Wednesday night with me and Brian anytime. Just let me know when you're not so busy and you have time, and I'll send you a link and we'll be hell raisers together.
All right.
No, seriously, anytime. It's fine. But I've had people reach out to me to do a live on their channel, and they want to send me a list of questions they're going to ask me and all this stuff, and I'm like, okay. And then I've
No
had
pressure.
somebody I've had somebody ask me when I ask them to come on mine, do you want to send me anything, a list of questions? Or I said, nope. If I think of some on the spot, I'll ask you. People in the chat will ask a question. But I said it's so laid back. So Stacy, hell raisers.
Yeah, I just saw you posted that you had a Friday night and you didn't have anybody, and I thought about it for a whole day, but I didn't know how to approach Jim, and I said, "Hey Jim, how do you feel about going on Cindy's live and tell your story?" He said, "Okay."
One of the biggest things, I don't like my picture out there.
None of us do.
I kind of just, if I was down to the weight I wanted to be, and it'd be fine. But
well,
if I keep on waiting, I'll
pictures,
never do it.
the pictures that are on the thumbnail,
Yeah,
there was some incredible differences there.
I lost
And
my
be
double
thankful
chin.
for that.
I used to have a double chin, and it's gone.
It's hidden by the beard.
There's nothing there though.
Show, now look at all the color he has in his hair. Show your hair.
Yeah.
He's got all dark hair, but he's got a white beard. I definitely don't have any color left.
I got dark hair and a white beard.
That's all right. It's all right. It's all good.
I told him, I said, "You've watched enough of these lives with me. You know, we just hang out and chat. It's not a big deal."
Especially on these, on mine.
Yeah.
Anyway, Michelle Ross Hall, she was one that asked me if she wanted me, or asked me if I had any questions that, she wanted to send me, or I wanted to send her. And I said, nope. Well, when it was over that day and we went off the live, we were backstage, and she's like, that was the most fun I've ever had on a live stream ever. That's what I intend to do, get the stories out and then have fun.
Yeah.
I mean, whether people have a channel or not, there's a story to be heard. It's like when I did all those at the Eaton meetup last year. When I recorded those and Dustin recorded them and I posted them. I couldn't put them all in one video. It would never have gone up. So, but it was important to me. And everybody mentions Dr. Barry in their story without fail. So I tagged him in the videos. And one of them, he actually replied. And he commented, he said, that's what carnivore's about, or something to that effect. And, because people attribute their successes to him. A lot of it. Because he's come so far with it. It's pretty wild. Oh God, Sean, you are all we need now is a blip from Cindy to make this live complete. There you go, bud. That's when they start talking sardines.
Oh yeah. I'm with Cindy on that.
I like sardines.
I don't like them.
Y'all can have them, because nope. I'm good.
I like the olive oil sardines and mustard sardines.
I never thought about it, but I think that's why I really like your Friday interviews, because they're so informal. You just do whatever, no script. You know, that's because if somebody is telling their story, how can it be scripted? You know, your life isn't a script. It is what it is. And you know, that's how I feel about it. So I felt like on this one live, I felt like I had to rehearse my life. And I'm like, I already lived it. I don't need to rehearse it. But anyhow, thank you so much, Sherri and Jim. And Jim, it was so nice to hear your story and get to meet you. And
You're welcome.
one of these days, we'll get to a meetup at the same time and
Sounds
at the
good.
same
Yep.
place. But get well first and take care of yourself. And like I said, Sherri, let me know about Wednesday. They're fun. We have a lot of fun too.
Well, you could start calling your Wednesday night double dates if you get a bunch of couples on there.
I know. Who did we have on? We had Hope and Andy, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah, after their fire, when they lost their RV. Yeah. So, but yeah, he's supposed to be, actually, they're supposed to be coming on a Friday at some point. They said Fridays work better for them. So, yeah. So at some point, I don't know, Dustin is going to be here next Friday. I finally got a confirmation from him. He's coming back next Friday. And Wednesday will just be What the Hell, episode 3.
With the hail
With
raiders.
special guest Nancy Tanner. Maybe.
Ooh. You can do it, Nancy. If we can do it,
I'm
you can do
telling
it.
you, she could. She could. She's got a good story too. She's just no, I'm gonna stay behind the camera. Get away from the camera. But it was great. It was a great meeting of all. But anyhow, you guys have a great night. Everybody in the chat, thank you for joining us on a Friday. The few of us that are together. Good night, all you fellow
Good night,
bell
everybody.
raisers.
Good night. Good night.
She was with Hope and Andy. Yep. I don't think you can do it, Nancy.
Oh, yeah.
I got faith. Anyway, I will be back on Wednesday with Brian and next Friday with Dustin. Sherri, you guys hang on a second. Everybody else have a great night and we'll see you soon.